Virginia smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. Old Virginia.
My name is Luke Darnell, Pitmaster of Old Virginia Smoke BBQ, and I'm here to tell you about my new online class available at barbecuechamps.com. This is a 100% tell-all competition barbecue class from yours truly, available online. It is a masterclass with 34 high-definition tell-all online competition barbecue videos that can be watched anytime, and they do not expire. They are packed full of pro tips, techniques, and recipes that will show you how to take your barbecue to the next level. These 34 barbecue cooking videos total 7 hours and will show you everything that you need to take your competition cooking to a level that you never thought was possible. We've already heard from several teams that have bought our classes and have already seen success and gotten their first calls. So this is something that brings me a lot of joy in sharing my knowledge and seeing people be successful with it. So are you ready to take your competition and backyard cooking to the next level? What are you waiting for? Just go ahead and go to barbecuechamps.com and find Luke Darnell, Old Virginia Smoke. We hope you learn a lot and enjoy these videos and have as much fun cooking these recipes as we had making them. This podcast is brought to you by BarbecueData.com. BarbecueData.com is your one-stop shop for all of your barbecue competition data. Historical data, calls, wins, placements, everything under one roof. It's a great way not only to track yourself in the standings, but also to track how you improve your scores from year to year. Listeners of this podcast can receive 20% off of a new subscription to BarbecueData.com with the code PITPOD. That's one word, all capital letters, PITPOD, PITPOD. So check your team scores, check on others, and do it all on BarbecueData.com. What's up? It's Luke Darnell, your host, Pitmaster Podcast, breaking it down with some of the best pitmasters in the world. And with me today is one of my best friends in barbecue, man who got himself a little GC this weekend. What's up, Billy?
What's up, Lukey? How are you, buddy?
Not much, man. Bill Gillespie with Smokin Hoggz had a pretty good weekend up in the Jers, huh?
Yeah, not too bad. I finally put 4 things together, and yeah, it was it was pretty a big relief, put it that way. You know.
Why was it a relief?
Well, I've been kind of fighting with brisket all year, and just trying to. I changed process, you know.
Ooh, this is a big deal, folks.
It is, yeah. You know, I was probably one of the last people to do an overnight brisket, and I decided this year I wanted to switch it up a little bit and you know, start going a little hotter, a little faster, and I've been playing around all year, and finally, a few weeks ago, we sort of put it together, and you know, we got a top 10 in Connecticut, and then the following day, I think it was like just outside the top 10. So we were close, and then we kind of dialed it in a little bit this weekend, and yeah, it got us that GC we've been looking for this year. So
there you go, brother.
Yeah,
lining it up. So. What were the main challenges that you faced because I know I've cooked next to you probably just as much as anybody else.
Sure.
And I know that you are very resistant to change. So what were the major challenges of switching from low and slow overnight to putting it on in the morning?
You know, so I'm getting up about an hour earlier, but on the flip side, I don't have to stay up till 10, 11 o'clock waiting to put on a brisket. You know, I can go to bed at 9, so I kind of make up that hour, you know?
Right.
You know, that adjusting to like the checking for doneness, you know what I mean? Because it's a little different.
It's a different catch.
It is, you know, and when you think it's done, I know I've heard this 100 times. When you think it's done, give it another 30 minutes, especially cooking a little hotter, a little faster. Where when you felt it was done doing low and slow, it was done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there was no forgiving on that. So yeah, that and just adapting to the new process, really.
Nothing specific, nothing like. Were you under or over with your turn-ins, you think, before you got it figured out?
Oh, I think I was under.
Really?
Yeah, I was definitely under. Like we went out to Iowa like a month or so ago, and I was second time ever cooking on a drum, which was kind of fun. So my brisket, it curled on me, so it went like that, and I probed it. It felt good. I'm like, oh, it's done. I went to slice it, and you could throw them like rubber bands. They were
really.
It was that under, yeah. So that was a challenge trying to figure out, when it was actually done. You know what I mean? Even though it felt done to me, like I said, it was that difference of low and slow versus the hot and fast. Getting used to that.
Yeah. So the pork also, that's not on in the middle of the night anymore either, is it?
No, I changed that a while ago. I changed. So pork I put on in the morning. I mean, like everybody, they're cutting them down to itty bitty, using collars and whatever. Or you can use a whole butt and you can cut it down to the individual sections however you want. So yeah, brisket was like the last thing. I like to I use a quote from one of our favorite movies is brisket has been my bugaboo. So
let me ask you this hypothetical question, and I don't know why it wasn't on my agenda to ask you this, but
all right.
Would you like to see the pork rule go back to the old rule? I mean, I'm not trying to start anything here,
no.
I feel like it's gotten too easy.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, because I think everybody's for the most part just cooking collars and whatnot. But I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just make everybody cook a whole brisket.
Mandatory burn-ins?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that would just send shockwaves through everything.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I'd be all in on it. If you change the pork back to cooking a whole butt, you might as well just cook a whole brisket.
Right. I made burn-ins in a class this weekend. They were so good, dude.
Right? Isn't it always the way? And then you go to do it for a contest and they turn out like crap. I know. Yeah.
So what's in the future this year for Smokin Hoggz? How many are you cooking?
We got, I want to say like around 30 to 35, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah, but 13, 14 of those are doubles. So that's
so much for dialing back, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? No kidding. Yeah, we got we're doing that contest on Long Island in June. That big oh my God, I'm horrible with names.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the National Barbecue Festival.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're doing that. We're doing that other new one there, the Grand Am. It's 4 hours from me. It's a pretty big purse. Hoping to get back into the Jack. We're gonna do it with the Royal this year. Hoping to get the invite to the Royal Oak. Yeah, pretty much all the standard stuff, I guess.
That's cool.
Try to make it back down your way, or somewhere relatively close to you. You
going to Smoke on the Grove?
Smoking the Rail. Yeah, that's on the
rails.
Yep.
Watch this. I'm going to do something publicly.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm doing, but I'm going to make sure you're next to me.
Oh, perfect.
Has to happen.
Okay. What, for Smoke on the Rail?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely it does. Oh, you're doing
Sorry,
it right
folks.
now.
I'm doing it right now.
That's fantastic. I love it. Why not, right?
Why not? Well, I just want to make sure you're getting there Thursday.
That's the plan. I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
And I believe Chad and Nicole Humphreys are coming down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know you haven't seen them in a while, but
I have not.
yeah.
Fun story, Bill. And gosh, that's just timely. You segued me, and I didn't even know I needed segued.
Wow, perfect. See, I can read your
So-
mind.
So we went down and saw our third teammate, Leanne, in Charleston,
Oh,
South
yeah.
Carolina.
Awesome.
And she has our light blue Humphreys that have the state cutouts on it.
Yeah, the Q pint.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
I looked at it out there on her porch, and I went, "What's wrong with old girl?" She's like, "Yeah, the hinges have gone bad.
Oh, no.
And we need to, she still runs fine, but I got to hold the fire door with a ratchet strap, and
Is it the latch?
no, it was the hinges and the latch, I think. So I was like, okay, I just put a note in the back of my head, like, all right, we're going to fix this somehow,
Sure.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So then she texted this weekend, and she said, my uncle came down this week. He brought an angle grinder and the welder, and we worked for 3 days on it, and she's back up to full operation.
Beautiful. Nice.
And I was like, thank God, because it was really bothering me. I love that cooker.
Yeah, it's a nice cooker. I remember when you got it.
Yeah, it's such a good cooker, but never won on it.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, maybe you got to change that. Now that you're not on the Jambo, I mean, you can get those things up to 300 degrees, no problem. So
I know, but I'm
just
all
saying.
cans, buddy.
Yeah.
I used to cook on at 300 all the time anyway.
I know, but someday.
Someday, I will be as good as Bill Gillespie.
Oh, please. Yeah.
So you've also had some other big news.
Yeah.
Recently.
One of my rubs, the rib rub, took best rub on the planet from the American Royal a couple weeks ago.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, thank you. I was pretty shocked. Funny story. I can, if you got a few minutes about it.
Yeah, we have all the time in the world.
All right,
buddy.
cool. So it was the Tuesday after. It was like the 13th or 14th, whatever, of April, and it was a Tuesday. So Sean, my wife, had just left to go out with her girlfriend and meet for dinner. So about 15 minutes goes by, and my phone rings, and I'm like, oh man, she's calling me because she's lost. She doesn't know where she's going, right? So I look down at the phone, and I see AM and then ROY, and that's all it was. And I'm like, I should probably answer this. And I'm glad I did, because I got the news that we took best rub on the planet, and my all-purpose rub took 4th place.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. So it was quite an exciting, some exciting news for sure.
That is very exciting. How many times has that rib rub been in that contest?
As long as I've had it. So
that's been a minute too.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years, maybe longer, something like that. I want to say, it's got to be, I don't know, it's 5 or 6, 7 years probably. My all-purpose rub is the one I've had the longest,
right?
So, and that's been pretty close to 10 years.
Yeah,
and I think we were like a top 10 one time, like 8th or 9th with that or something like that. But I was blown away, so I got myself a new co-packer.
I was going to say, you've had some challenges in the rub business recently.
I have, yeah. I was sort of forced to look for a new co-packer, and Yeah, I've got one. They're awesome. Working with Tastemaker down in Memphis.
Oh yeah.
Yep, they've been wonderful. And we were right in the middle of doing the sampling, and I was basically running out of stock of the rib rub. So as soon as I got that news, I got on the horn with them and I said, hey, because we had just used the samples in the contest that weekend, and we were like, I think we were both days like top 10 in ribs or something like that. And I really like what they had done with it. Like it's about as close as you're going to get, you know what I mean? To what it was. Like it's like 99% perfect. And so yeah, I said, is there any way we can get this expedited, like through production? And I tell you, man, they were awesome. It's running in production, I think, like next week or the week after. So I'm gonna have it middle of May.
Nice.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, they were fast. Like we got the label done, we got everything done, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be working with these guys for sure.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you spend a lot of time on those, and
yeah, and it was we were kind of bummed out when all that went down, but hey, I'm just, it's in the past, and I'm just looking forward and, kind of using that as a learning curve. And I think it's a better opportunity for me for sure.
right. Well, one door closes, usually another one opens. And
Yep, definitely.
I may have made a crack at your old co-packer in person whenever the news broke. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well, whoopsies.
Whoopsies. Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. So
yeah, thank you.
Winning contest, best rev on the planet.
Yeah.
Seems like everything's coming together for a pretty good 2025.
I hope so. I hope it stays that way. It'd be nice,
Do you have a lot of good classes in the off season?
I just did one. I did one back in, I think, February, early March. And it's just a time thing, trying to schedule it. And that's about really the only time I can do them. I find it difficult to do it just before like November, December. People are getting ready for Christmas, even though they make great Christmas presents, but there's a lot of holidays. I mean, there's a short amount of time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and there's holiday parties, and it's in my opinion, it's not a great time to do a class, especially up this way.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I always teach in that time frame generally.
Okay.
Because I want to give people the opportunity to have a full off season to work on.
Yeah, I think you're in a good area for that, where not a lot of people travel up this way. You know what I mean? For that, I'm sort of up in the corner of the country, so it can be difficult sometimes weather-wise getting up this way.
We talk about it all the time that we should do one together. Maybe we should do one down here.
We should. I know. Maybe we'll make that happen this year.
Let's do it.
All right.
And also, there's also both of us have classes available on barbecuechamps.com. So
exactly. Yeah. And it's the same thing that I teach in person is what's on Barbecue Champs. So,
absolutely. He doesn't change stuff. He doesn't change stuff, folks.
No, tried and true.
I don't like change.
Yeah, except for my brisket this year. That's it.
I'm so shocked by all of it. I'm like, I can't believe that he finally went down this path.
Yep. I still let the cookers overnight, though. I still let them go at 200. And
do you really?
Yeah, I do. And I get up at 5 and I crank them up. And, one goes to 275, the other goes to 300. And they're up to temp within like 15 to 20 minutes at that point.
But you like having the whole mechanism hot.
I do.
When you get there. Yeah, it's pretty warm.
Yep. And honestly, like I don't use a lot of charcoal either when that happens. Right. It's very minimal. Those things are so efficient, Yeah, it's you can easily get up to 350, even using water in the water pan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. Trendsetter.
I'm trying. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other projects going on? Anything interesting?
Um, no, not really. Just trying to get things lined up. Like it's a whole new world as far as like the products go. I'm out there. I'm kind of cold calling all the retailers that we were in before with the other people. Um, we're sending out emails. We're just trying to get that business back.
Because
And
that's hard to do without.
it
That's
is.
the one disadvantage of, is having that group
Yeah.
buy
You know,
versus being on your own. It's very difficult. Yeah.
it is. And for me, because I still have a full-time job, it was the perfect situation because, I didn't have to do all that legwork. But now that I don't have that opportunity anymore, we're out there doing that. And that's fine because, I think overall it's making us, both Sean and I, better people. It's growing our business. It's making us more kind of well-rounded, I think. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I'm still working on mine.
I know it's hard, dude. I mean, you got to be fully invested, I think.
It's just getting. I guess I could be more proactive, but try and work with different people, and maybe
Hmm.
I'll give your guy a shot and see what you
Yeah,
got.
they've been awesome with working with them. Um, yeah, it's just it's a big learning curve for definitely
I mean, how
for
long?
us.
Okay, so you come
Yeah,
up. Let's talk about this. Let's dive
yeah,
in. We've never done this part.
yep.
You're like the first four-time guest on here, but
Wow.
we've
Okay.
we've never jumped into. Okay, you have an idea for a new rep.
Yep.
How does that process start?
All right. So let's take for example, like I have a new chicken rub. Okay.
Okay.
So I buy all the ingredients that I think I'm going to need, all the different spices, and I just sit there and I make a couple different batches, different strengths of whatever seasonings that I'm using. We'll test it at the house. I'll even test them at a contest. You know what
No
I'm
shit.
saying? Honest to God, like I just sometimes I don't have time to test it at the house, so I have no problem going to a contest and being like, "Hey, let's try this rub." You know what I mean? It's just like for like the one meat kind of thing, like doing like the one meat chicken or the one meat
Oh
rib.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if it happens to hit, then maybe the next day I'll try it on the normal stuff. And that's kind of what I did with my rib rub. I this was it 2017? I think it was 2017. We were at the Royal, and we the first day, um, I did my normal rib program, and then we got like a 165 in ribs or something like that. I'm like, you know what? I said I'm changing this up. I said I brought my rub that my sample that I had with me. So I said, I'm using it. I'm going to use it on these ribs. Same process, just a different rub. And I think we scored like 1 point higher. We had like a 166 the next day. And I'm like, huh, okay. So, I think it wasn't super offensive. I got home, went to another contest. That same rub I used on the ribs, like a top 10. The next contest, boom, we hit first place with it. And just making a couple small tweaks to the rub. So,
Mhm.
that was like kind of the whole process of it. Like I said, like I'm not afraid to try it at a contest.
How many iterations do you go through? Say the perfect stomp.
Yeah,
How
the
many-
perfect storm. Yeah. That
How many
that,
iterations did it go through?
that went oh man. I'm gonna say at least 10.
Wow.
Maybe, yeah, maybe seven to 10 roughly. Just because it's, it's an SPG base, and I wanted to get that kind of down, and then it was adding all the other stuff to it in different ratios to find that I thought was like the best. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I mean sometimes it could be 2 or 3 times if you're lucky, but I'd say
I feel like that's got to be the exception, not the norm, right?
yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then once you get it developed, right, then go into a co-packer, because even though it's the same ingredients, the ingredients could be manufactured by somebody different. So,
Right.
because not all, like you could have paprika and paprika there, it's both paprika, but one could look red, one could look brown. Like it could just be, even though it's paprika, even with chili powders or like even garlic.
Color's different. Right.
Yeah.
And every smoked paprika is a different color.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Paprika.
Paprika. Yeah. What was I calling it?
Not
Paprika. Paprika. Yeah. Yeah. I put the R where it doesn't belong, and I take them out where they're supposed to be.
I know. I'm not going to make you do any normal
Thank
people
you.
talking.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Because it is fun, like hamburger.
Hamburger. Yeah.
Oh, I know it's so horrible when I do that to you.
I think it's funny.
Kim yells at me every time I do it. I'm like, it's so funny to watch him struggle to say it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that's the way he talks, and that's
right.
where he's from. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
We haven't cooked next to each other in a good long time, so I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I am too. I think it was like 2 months ago at Urbana.
That's right. It wasn't that long ago.
Well, we a couple months ago, but it was we weren't like right next. We were diagonal, weren't we?
We were close enough. It's one of the cool things about that contest is, I get to make pretty good requests in terms of who all is around, and
sure.
I really enjoy that contest for what it is. First time of the year, everybody's together, and
and it's a cool little town too.
It's okay.
I mean, we go in. We enjoy going into the little town center for that one little bar there, and sitting up at the bar and having a couple beers, and I don't know. It's just different from here where I am,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my friend, congratulations on all your success. This is really exciting, and thanks for showing a little bit into, the rub game. And
yeah, absolutely.
I think, that could be an entire podcast with a group of people talking about.
It could be. You could have like a round table on it, and
just development, and but then it's not like there's enough barbecue rubs out there in the world.
Right. I think it's a big ball field,
It's a big ball field, but someone told me once, remember, when you get your product on the shelf, that you've kicked one of your friends off of it.
Yeah, I suppose, right? If that's So
my response has been find different shelves. So
right, there's plenty of shelves. Yeah,
plenty of shelves in the sea, buddy. Shelf.
Yep.
So earlier today, I changed all of my login. Sorry, I messed that up. I changed all my passwords to Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now I just have Kenny logins.
Dude, that's a wicked dad joke right there. I love it.
I knew you would enjoy it.
I love it.
All right, my friend. We'll keep kicking ass. And
thank you.
thank you for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Hey, tell everybody where they can find the best rub on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
All your stuff.
Yeah, that's it. So go to www.smokinhoggz.com. We're in pretty much most of the barbecue supply stores. Yeah. So we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on X. We're on,
Twitter.
I think Twitter, X, YouTube, all that stuff. So give us a like, give us a shout. Come by and see us if we're at a contest and you're there. So
all right,
that's all I got, buddy.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Thank you for listening to Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. Be sure to subscribe and like the podcast, rate the podcast, and to share it out with your friends. Also be sure to check out the Old Virginia Smoke TikTok as well. Old Virginia Smoke, one word. That's all you have to search for. It's hilarious. Tune in next week for another great episode of Pitmaster. For companies interested in advertising, please contact Old Virginia Smoke directly via www.oldvirginiasmoke.com. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is edited by Chris Sedanka. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is a property of Old Virginia Smoke, LLC.
Old Virginia Smoke. Old Virginia Smoke. OVS. Old Virginia Smoke. Old Virginia Smoke.